Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
All right. So we'll be discussing the week 1 into revision in this whole session. Okay. Yeah. So the first thing is hope you all know the Java is the object-oriented language. So what is object-oriented language, people?
Ma'am, will we do any questions as well? PYQs?
Uh, yeah. So after the summary part, we can just go ahead with PYQs also.
Okay.
Ma'am, could you please zoom in?
Repeat.
Ma'am, could you please zoom in?
Zoom in. Okay, 1 minute. Let me see. All right. So what is object-oriented language, people? Yes. Which means it's a platform independent one, right? I mean, OS independent one. Am I audible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so here Java is the object-oriented language. So using which we can be able to do the exception handling, concurrency, anyone. Okay, so what is exception handling?
Ma'am, to cover the edge cases, we write certain lines of
Yeah.
program so that
Let's say
it will give us
exception handling in the sense of, let's say it shows throws some error and the code is stopped. So we can just use the exception, and if some error of this type occurs, you can execute the code. Something like that will give. Okay. So oops in the sense of it has the concept of objects and the classes. So class in the sense of it's a that is where the program starts. So we'll start from the class and we can create the objects for it. Object is nothing but the instance of each class. Okay, so by this way, let's say if I'm writing in a class and all, we can organize the code and which helps in the maintainability and reusability of the code. Okay, so reusability in the sense of let's say whenever I need a method or that class, we can just use the method or the class to whenever it's required. Okay, so here let's say if I have to do some support the automatic type inference, which is nothing but let's say I'm giving x is equal to 7, so y is equal to x plus 15. So automatically the 7 value will be fetched, so 7 plus 15. So what is the data type for this? It's an integer. So as I have declared 7 as an integer, so here also we are trying to use the same integer to add. So automatically it will take as an integer as its data type. Okay, and here let's say we have to organize the code in such a way that let's say it has a meaningful way, and also it increases the maintainability also. Okay, so generally when we are creating a website and all, generally what will we do? Many people will write the part of the code, right? So we need the everybody should understand what is mentioned there. Okay, so we have to give a proper naming to it as well. Okay, and then compilers will catch the bugs early, and so that way we can be able to optimize the code as well. Okay, and next is the scope. So scope in the sense of what is its availability.
Ma'am, how does it catch early, ma'am? If you have
Let's say
type,
compiling. Okay, I'll just say you. Let's say there is you all know compilers, right?
yes, ma'am.
What is compiler?
It converts the higher level language to machine language, or in Java it makes it byte code.
Yes, exactly. We'll use Java C, right, for Java compiler, which translates the Java code into the byte code. So that is used. And how about the interpreter?
it converts the code line by line.
Exactly. So in Java, both the compiler and the interpreter are used. Okay. So say we are just writing the code in a meaningful way, and then we can be able to understand where the error is also. Okay. So that is what they have mentioned here. And next is the variables will have. What is a variable?
Ma'am, it can be defined as an instance of an object.
Okay. Others?
Value changes.
Okay.
Also a memory location which can be changed with
Used to
different
store the
values.
data. Okay, let's say if I have to store any data, you can make use of the variable name to it. Okay, let's say we can just use the class name, like that also will give some name to it, right? So similarly, variable name is to store some values. Later you can change the value or you can reinitialize in whatever the way you want, you can do it. And next is the and scope in the sense of, let's say only within that class I can be able to access, or within that method I can able to access that variable. So that is what we'll say it as a scope. Okay, which means within the particular area or within the particular block I can use that. And next is a lifetime. Lifetime is nothing but like, let's say once the program is done, it will die, it will delete its memory. So that is what is the lifetime. Okay, so whether the storage is still allocated, or whether the allocation is done or not. Okay, so the variable will have the scope as well as the lifetime. And then next is the activation record for the functions or maintained as a stack. So generally memory management, so generally how the memory is stored?
Stack.
Okay, what are the key components of the
Ma'am, could you please repeat the question?
okay, what are the key components of the Java memory management? What are the memories you know to store any values or any methods?
Stack and heap.
Yes. What is the difference between stack and heap?
Stack stores activation record, like whenever a function is called, and its local variables.
Okay.
And heap stores dynamically allocated data, like when we
Yes.
create some list.
Okay. How about the stack?
First in, first out.
All right. So heap in the sense of which is a larger memory where we can be able to allocate the memory dynamically. Let's say, okay, let's say we have a stack here. Okay, so this is how we'll use in the stack memory. Okay, so first I'll give here second element, third element, and fourth element, something like this. Okay, so this is stack. Heap in the sense of like 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. It will be in a random way. Okay, it's not mandatory, it has to be arranged in the same order. It will be just in the random order like this. So this is what we'll say it as the heap, and this is what is stack. So in stack, the memory will be in the organized way. So if I want anything, I have to just take from the like first 4 has to be taken, then 3 has to be taken, then the 2, at last the 1 will be taken. So this is what is the stack. In heap, we can just we have to search through all the elements and we can take whatever we want. I mean, like wherever it is through, we can just take from that. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So again, in heap, we can just explicitly allocate and we can deallocate the memory also. Okay. So garbage collection is the one which primarily works on the heap. Okay, so that we can be able to like take the memory from the objects, like wherever the value is stored, from there we can be able to access it. Okay, and in stack we can be able to store the primary data types or any local variables or any reference to objects. Those can be located, like, that is you for to store these things we are using the stack memory. Is that clear?
Only store the local variables in a function.
Yeah.
No, for what else that stack is used other than that activation record?
I don't understand your question.
No, ma'am, in the lecture, professor has taught that in the stack, activation records are stored, right, for each function, local variables.
Yes.
So what else is stored?
Activation record is nothing but the stack frame, right? So it is like whenever if you're invoking a method or anything, it will just take like it will execute using that only. So activation record in the sense of which includes the local variable and parameters and all these things, right?
So only when function is called, it will, stack will. Otherwise, it will be. It
I
will
don't
not store.
understand.
No, ma'am, whenever we call function, it is put in the stack, right? Only for that stack is.
Whenever if you have to call like whenever if you have to invoke any method specifically, it will just like this activation record holds all the information about that, which is nothing but the stack frame. So from there, because stack is a organized on it, so we can able to retrieve all the memory from, I mean, like whatever is required from that.
Okay. Heap is unorganized.
Huh.
Ma'am,
So
can you
next is
explain
the
control link and return link? Like, can you show the diagram once?
which one?
The control link and the return link in the stack memory. How it's created when we call a function.
Ma'am, ma'am, if you go for week one slides, there was a PPT was also there for week one. Ma'am, not there. Ma'am,
Just
last one, ma'am.
okay. Is this one which you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. When we call a recursive function.
This is what I said. Like in stack, it just goes like wherever, like controlling in the sense of like what it has to do. Let's say if value is 3, so what it will do, it will just go to the value and acquire the value from there, and then it will just return the value from that. Let's say, you all know recursion, right? So recursion, how it works?
Oh, ma'am, control link is actually the address of the previous stack frame.
Which
Because
called this?
The same function is called that.
it need not be the same function. It can be other functions also.
So control link is connecting it to the other part, and return link
Let's
is
say
this.
in the main method you are calling two functions one after the other. So the stack frame will be created for main. Then after that, the first call would result in stack frame creation for this first call. Then now main has to keep track of that first stack, the other first call which was made. So main will keep a pointer to that first. Once that is finished, then the second call is being made. Now there is another stack frame for the second call. Now again
Yeah,
main has to keep track of this second frame.
correct. That I understand. But what is the control link and return
That's
value
what I'm
link?
saying. Now, control link is the address of that. I mean, the newly created stack frame, because main has to keep track of which one is following it. And the return value link is what return value should be given. Means the newer call. Let's say main called a function. Now that function will be returning a value. Now to point to that return value, main will also have a link. So that is what that return value link is.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Actually, you can just understand in such a way that activation link is generally to like where the activation like record of the caller. So it will just point to it, and which means nothing but it is just invoking the current function. Okay.
So controlling will point to the previous function which called this function. Can we say?
So can we say like one connects to the address, the other one returns the value? I mean this step where it has to go.
Yes, basically
So
it means
control link generally keep track of the calling function's environment, like which is called, which function it has to move and all. Okay, so return link in the sense of it just returns the control to the correct place. Let's say I am just calling a function of 2. So there it will be like 2 into function of 1. So the value computed, it will return back to its correct, like whatever is the next function to be called. That is what the return link will do.
Ma'am,
Calls the
basically in this given example, what is happening is we are calling factorial 3. Now, once that factorial 3 is called, to complete this factorial 3, we need to call factorial 2. So a stack frame for factorial 2 is also created. Now, once the stack 2 would get over, it has to return to some place. So that's why that factorial 2 stack frame is having an address of where to return, exactly which code line to return. So that's why it is keeping a pointer to that location, that is called the control link. Now it also has the responsibility to return the value of that factorial 2. So it is also maintaining a pointer to where it to exactly this value has to be returned. So that's why that return value link is kept. I hope I didn't confuse people.
no. Yeah, I'm audible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah. So it will just like as you mentioned, like control link in the sense of it is the like the previous function call in the stack, and next return link in the sense of it points to the let's say what it has to do recursively, how it works. Like control link points to the previous one, and return link will give the answer of that, and it will just do the like recursion one.
The slide has some points about controlling. Says it points to the start of the previous,
Previous. Ha, ha, ha.
and
And return link tells where to store the result. Like let's say if I'm storing factorial of 2, which will be stored.
so exactly the control goes back to the uh, return value link, or that's where the confusion is.
Let's say
Control
factorial of
will
5.
take you back to the
Factorial of 5 is given. Okay, so factorial of 1 finishes and it returns the control to the factorial of 2. That is what is the return link. Okay, control link in the sense of um, let's say factorial of 5. So it will link to the main
it will link to the
factorial
caller.
of 5. Yes, and 5 will be connected, like 4 will be linked back to the factorial of 5.
So controlling points to that activation record of that function which called this function in the first place, and return value is that in that activation record where to return the values.
So, more precisely, that control link will return the let's say where it has to return once the function is done. Let's say if I'm completing the factorial of 4, where it has to return the value. That is the control link. Okay, return link in the sense of like in which address where the program needs to return to. Okay, let's say if the like once the method is done, it will just return it to the value like where it has to store. Okay, in factorial of 3 I have to store this, so that is what is the return value link.
Okay, ma'am. It exactly tells the address where it has to return the value in previous activation.
Yes, previous activation is the control link.
Yes.
So is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any doubts so far? Okay, so next is two ways of to initialize the parameters. One is call by value and the other is call by reference. What is call by value and what is call by reference, people?
I mean, call by value, we actually pass the value, and in call by reference, we don't pass the actual value, we pass the reference of that value. Maybe it's an object, so we'll pass the object reference of the object.
Yes. So let's say if I'm altering the value in the call by value, will it affect the original value?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am, because it will be a copy.
Exactly. How about call by reference?
It will actually
We
affect the
point to
original.
the memory location, the same memory location.
Yes, because what it is doing is it is we are just trying to pass the object to it, which means like where it is stored. We are trying to store that. So what happens no? If it is called by value, if I modify any values, it will not affect it. But if it is a call by reference, whatever the value was modified, let's say I'm just altering the x value in the uh, method or some other function. So what happens if I alter any value in the call by reference, the original value gets affected. In call by value, original value will not get affected. Okay, because there we are just taking a copy of the given value and we are doing the process. In call by reference, we'll give the location of it and what it has to do, like that.
Ma'am, can we see an example code for this? Like, how do we call for a value and how for a reference?
Yeah, sure. I'll just write it here. Um, let's say I'm just giving us call by value for swap value. So let me give it as oops, it is not. Okay, let's say I'm giving a swap of I'm giving the value as int a comma int
Ma'am,
b.
we cannot see. If
You're
you're
not able to see?
no, if you're writing something, we can't see.
Well, can others be able to see it?
Not able to see. It came and popped out.
No,
Okay. I'll just how about now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Let's say here I'm writing as swap of int a. So generally, how will we give is int a comma int b like this. Okay, and then I'm writing the program like whatever the block of code it is needed. I'm just giving it here. Okay, if it is reference, we'll just give it as an object, which means we have to use its address that is ampersand a and ampersand b. Let's say in case of call by value, we'll just give the primitive data types and we can just able to change it. And next is yeah, we can be able to change it values as well. Okay. And let's say in Java, we are not using this call by reference. Okay, because Java doesn't support the pointer and all. So we are just using only the call by value. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Generally, in call by reference, we'll just give the actual memory address. That is by using the pointers. In CPP and all, you might have static. C or C program, CPP, you might have static, right? This is said to be the like location of the address. You can just use scanf, ampersand, and all, so that it references where it has to store.
Ma'am, but this call by value or call by reference, it happens automatically, right? For integer, for mutable, immutable types, it is always called by value. Like, we can't, user can't select.
Yes. So similarly, if it is a call by value in the sense of we can be able to alter the value in that particular location straight away. Okay, if it is call by reference, we can in the same location the value will be changed. So that's why here in call by value it takes the copy of it and it sends to it. Okay, is that clear?
Ma'am, could you please repeat?
Call by value in the sense of it takes the copy of the value and it will do the like whatever the process has to be done, it will do. So it will not affect the original value. But if it is of call by reference, the address location is sent as an argument by using the pointers and all. So if I make any change in the method, that will affect the original value.
Okay, ma'am.
So that is the is that clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in call value, it will not change the value.
Hmm. And if it is call by reference, if I make any changes to the original value, that will be affected here. Is that clear?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
so in call by value, two addresses are there, right? Which is having the same value.
Yes. Because call by value, we are taking copy of that value and we are doing the process with that. Yes. In call by reference, we are giving the same memory location and we are asking it to change it.
And what is that int ampersand?
Ampersand is to store refer the address of that, like which address it is stored. From that address, if I use a pointer, it's for dereferencing. So whatever the value in that location will be taken using the star. So
No,
star and ampersand are used in C and CPP.
not in Java.
Mhm. In Java, we cannot use call by reference. We can just use the call by value.
Okay, in C we can select like call
Uh,
by, if we write ampersand, it is call by reference.
yes, but Java does not support that, right? Java uses only call by value.
Okay. No, so in that language, if we write ampersand, it is call by reference.
To yes. That is to refer which address it is stored, and to dereference it, we can use the star. Using the star, we can dereference it, which means it in that location. What is the value? Take that value. It is like that.
Okay, if you use star, it is call by value, and ampersand, it is call by
No, no,
reference.
no, 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 no. Call by reference. We have to refer and we have to derefer, right?
Okay, yes.
First, I'm giving the location. Then in location, what is the value is there? So for that, they will use the star and ampersand pair. It's a pair.
And if you want
Ambition is
to,
to refer that location, and that location what value is there. For that we'll use the star. So this is a dereferencing point. This is a referencing point.
okay, if we write simply integer, then it is call by value.
It is call by value, yeah. Because we're taking
Okay,
a copy of it. These things comes only when we give the method, like whenever we are giving the methods, function call or method call, then we have to make use of this ampersand, which means the address. If I just give int just a and all, which means it is referencing the call by value. Okay, what is the difference between an argument and a parameter?
argument is when we call.
During the method declaration, we'll use the parameter. Argument in the sense of when I'm giving the method call. Argument is during the method call, and parameter is during the method declaration part. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you said that in Java we do not have a pass by reference. I think maybe you're saying that even the objects are not being passed by reference because the address is being changed in one variable to another. Is this what you're trying to say?
I didn't understand it.
Let's say in a method,
Mhm.
you gave an example of C++ wherein you pass two references to swap two elements. Let's say in Java, I pass two objects rather than object references. So if I swap them, basically, effectively, I'll have the same effect as that of C++. But internally, what I did was I did. I passed the value of that address location, and I swapped the address location. So that's why you are calling it pass by value.
Yes. Actually, the thing is, when it is a call by like let's say if you are dealing with the arrays or the objects, then you can see it will react similar to the call by reference. But actually, we cannot use call by reference in the Java. So when you're using that, it may seem like that.
Yeah, the overall effect is that of pass by reference, but internally the address is being swapped. So that's why we are calling it pass by value. Is that the reason?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, also in Java, we cannot select call by value or call by reference. So
It's
whenever
always
it is
call by value.
integer or like immutable types, it is automatically call by value. And if we pass some array immutable type, then it is automatically call by reference, right?
It's call by value, but it acts like similar like a call by reference only. Okay. But whenever we are giving the objects an array, it seems like it's a call by reference.
Yes, ma'am. Whereas in C, we can select, choose
Yes.
whether.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Any doubts so far, people? Can I proceed further?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, let's say in exam, if it asks whether Java supports call by reference or not, so the answer should be no. Or supporting means that effect is also counted in there.
Let's say if they have mentioned as for arrays or objects, if that is the option, then you can say that it supports, because arrays and objects can be like call by, it acts like a call by reference, right? So
Yes.
generally Java does not support call by reference, but if there is a object and the arrays are given, then its behavior is similar to the call by reference. Otherwise there
Uh,
is nothing like exactly call by reference in Java.
so in the answer, we can say call by reference.
Huh. Call
Okay.
by reference does not exist until or unless we are using the arrays or the
Okay.
objects.
So only for arrays objects, it is call by reference.
Yes.
So we cannot say that it does not support reference. Like it supports both.
In general, it uses call by value. In special cases, use call by reference. You can just mention like this, like only for objects and arrays, like this type of reference types.
Okay.
Okay. So next is of there's an automatic garbage collection in Java, right? Which means it will just check and it will mark all the storage. Once all the things are done, it will just return, like it will free the cells. Let's say I'm just giving a variable only for the method. So once the method is done, then it will just clear up the space for it, which is an automatic garbage collection, which occurs in Java. I mean, like in Java supports that. Okay. Is that clear,
Ye-
people?
Ma'am, in
yes,
previous
ma'am.
slide, did it?
Repeat.
No. Can you show the previous slide?
Yeah, sure. This one?
Yes, ma'am. This mark and sweep, it will check whether from the stack there is some reference to the variable in the heap. So if there is no reference, then it will mark that variable as unreachable and delete, right?
I didn't understand it. Could you please repeat?
Now, can you in this slide in mark and sweep
Mm-hmm.
last two lines?
Yes.
it is written that mark all storage that is reachable from the program variable and return
Mm-hmm.
all unmarked cells to free space.
You're talking about here, right?
Yes.
That's what I said. Let's say from that method, I'm just calling the variables and all. It will just check those variables and it will like create a memory and it will just do the process. Once the process is done, it will just unmark that memory cell and it will free it up. And also, if there is any cells which are unused, it will just free that memory automatically. That is what is mentioned there. It's just marking it initially for usage. Okay, these are all the storage has to be kept throughout the class. These are the storages which has to be kept only for the method. Only for the method in the sense of, let's say I'm creating a local variable. Based on the scope, it depends. So once that process is over, it will stop. I mean, it will delete its memory. Is that clear?
And this is only for the heap memory, right?
Once the stack call finishes, the activation records are automatically removed. So, yes, that's only for heap now.
And also when we close the like
Are
computer, then the heap will be deleted, right?
No, whatever is the memory it is said to be the garbage collection. So whatever the memory it uses, automatically it will just delete or it will just do like that.
Okay. No, okay. When we close the shut down the computer, then heap memory is also deleted, right? Whatever is there.
The JVM process is killed, so everything will get
Ah,
killed.
yes.
Okay, so both are only till the JVM the program is running.
Like generally the program runs using the JVM, right? Java.
Yes,
And then once it is killed, like the whole thing will be killed, right?
yes,
This mark and sweep is nothing but the automatic memory management. Like if there is let's say if there is anything which is not required, it will automatically deallocate it, and if it is required, it will just automatically allocate the memory for it. So by this way, we don't need to give explicitly like free this memory, something like that we don't need to give in case of this mark and sweep.
and it will mark it as free space only when there is no pointer from the stack. Right?
I'm unable to understand your question, could you please repeat it?
So it will mark those spaces which are not having any reference with the stack.
Yes, garbage collector generally works in the like heap memory, right?
Ma'am,
Yes,
what he is asking is from the stack frame, if there is no pointer to the heap object on the heap, then this mark and sweep will actually mark that object to be removed. That is what his question is.
So we are saying that will it be used in the stack, right? That is the reference, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
yes.
From the stack activation record, if there was supposed to be a reference to an object. Now, but the stack frame has been removed, so there is no reference to that object. Let's say. So, should mark and sweep remove that object? That is what his question is, I think.
So this mark and sweep will not work on the garbage collection of the stack.
No, no, ma'am. What he was trying to say is when the stack frame was removed, so the reference to that object on the heap is also removed with that stack frame. So now this object becomes an orphan. So the mark and sweep object think this object is eligible for removal. This is what his question was.
Okay, I can continue.
Repeat. What did you say? Okay, I got your question then. So you're saying that let's say if I'm storing any values in the stack framework, so once that execution is done, that automatically deletes from the stack, right? Is that the thing which you're asking?
Ma'am, the stack frame got deleted, but stack frame had a reference to an object. Now, as the stack frame is also deleted, along with it, that reference is also gone, but the object is still on the heap. Now, this object on the heap is an orphan object. So, should mark and sweep algorithm mark this object to be removed? This is the question I think he was asking. I hope I am able to explain, ma'am.
Yeah, same. Yes, ma'am. So it will be there in the heap only till there is some reference to that.
I think the first line itself is that only, na whatever you are asked. The first line is stating the same thing.
Maybe I'll I have a different question. I mean, maybe related to the same. So when does this automatic garbage collection run? I mean, when does this runtime environment check?
Okay, let's say if it is of let's say if it is of stack, automatically it will just finish when the let's say once the process or once the function invoked and the process is done, automatically it will be popped from the stack. And in case of here, in case of heap, we use the garbage collector. Nothing but it will just check what are all the variables or what are all the things which are included for that method, and it will just mark it. I mean, like what are the variables are required. Okay, all these are done. So then it will just what are the memories also not used, that will be freed. And once the process is also over, we will not use it, right? So at that time also the process, all the elements like what are the memory are allocated, it will be automatically deallocated. So that is what happens in the automatic garbage collection in heap.
So this
Where
runs
it uses the mark and sweep.
so
And yes,
this automatic garbage collection runs at the end of the program, is it all?
once the object call is also like once the method call is done, then also it will just, you can see right, when I'm not giving a static int j equal to 1, if I didn't give that, if I call that method again and again, you can see right, j gets initialized again and again. But if we give it as a static, it will be alive throughout the whole class or whole program whenever it stops. So once the method is over, it will just deallocate the memory which is allocated for it. When it is invoked again, if it is not static, it will be reinitiated. It will be done again, like from the starting. Can you able to understand the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Once the method is over, it will just delete whatever the memory it is allocated to it.
Okay, after each function call or method, this
Why?
automatic. Okay.
Yes. If it is recursion or if it is connected to any, then it will not delete it. Once the method is completely done, then the memory will be automatically deleted.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so the next topic which we are going to discuss is the abstraction. So what is abstraction? Yes, what is abstraction, ma? Am I audible to you all?
Yes, ma'am. So is it like a template?
Mm, no. Actually, abstraction in the sense of it hides the implementation details and it shows only whatever is required. Whatever the essential things are there, only it will show that. That is what is the general abstraction means. Okay. It focuses on what the object does, like what the object will do, not on the implementation process. Like how it works and all will not be shown. Only it will show what the object is. Okay. In case of abstraction, we'll use abstract classes and interfaces in the Java. Okay. So here, what is encapsulation?
Like put it in some capsule, black box.
Repeat.
We are enclosing that function in some capsule or black box, and we are only using the interface.
Okay. Then what is the difference between abstraction and encapsulation?
Abstraction means taking away the important things which are required and leaving out the rest of the thing. And encapsulation means what we are doing is we are combining data and methods that will work on that data together to make a simple, or maybe you can say a compact, organized entity. That is called encapsulation.
Yes, perfect. Encapsulation in the sense of will be able to hide, like it works as a single unit, and abstraction in the sense of it hides the unwanted details, like how the implementation works and all, and it will show only the necessary details. Okay. So here we have the abstract data types also. So nothing but let's say if I have to create, do you know what is abstract class and interfaces?
Yes, only the method signature will be.
No, you're not clear.
Ma'am, what question, ma'am?
Interfaces and abstract classes.
Uh, Abstract class means that a class which is not complete. The thing is, if we are not sure about certain functionality that is to be provided, then we can mark a class as abstract by giving that functionality name to it, but we won't be giving the implementation inside that class. And in interfaces, whatever the functionality is to be provided, entire set of functionality are abstract. So it cannot have any kind of implementation. But in abstract class, we can have some kind of implementation.
Yes. Okay. So in case of abstract interfaces, what will we do is a class can like what we can say in a class. If I have to give it like an interface, in interface we can give the abstract method. Abstract method in the sense of it will just have the name of that and return type of it. It will not contain the body of it. Okay, body of the abstract in abstract method, body of the method will not be there. Okay, is that clear?
Ma'am, please repeat once again.
Okay, and similarly, abstract class may or may not have the abstract methods. Sometimes it can have both the abstract methods as well as the concrete methods. Okay, so if I have to use the abstract class, we have to extend the abstract class and then we can implement its method in the extended class. Okay, and how about interfaces?
Yeah.
In interface, we can give a default method or can be implemented where the class wants.
Yes, here also the same thing. We can just give the abstract method inside it, and we can let's say if I have to do the multiple inheritance. In those cases, we cannot give the multiple classes to extend. So we can implement the interfaces in it, and we can make use of it. Like implementing this interface, we can be able to access the methods of that. Okay, and if I have to give a body of the method and all, we can give it in the extended class or implemented class. Okay, and next is the abstract data type. Abstract data type in the sense of
Well,
it describes the what are the operations on the data. Like similarly, how it does will not be there, but how the operation works. Okay, so let's say if I have to do some operations like insertion or deletion, we can be able to do that in this abstract data type. Which means nothing but if I have to delete or if I have to add any elements, we can be able to do on that. Okay. Actually, we cannot be able to. Yes, someone unmuted.
And this abstract data types are the same as Java class.
How Java class? No. It is similar to the let's say in case of it defines only the operations like abstract. What it will do, it will just show what is required and it will hide the unnecessary details. Similarly, it will just define the operation and behavior of that data. It defines the operations.
Okay, so class implements abstract data type concept.
Yes.
Let's say if I have the let's say if I have the stack and keyword list, then you can be able to define and you can implement in the code.
Basically, ma'am, the abstract data types means encapsulation and data hiding, and what was it? Encapsulation and I forgot the other word, ma'am.
Interface.
No, ma'am. You have just mentioned it a while ago, ma'am. Encapsulation and
Abstraction.
Abstraction.
No. I think I'll just
Polymorphism.
recollect, ma'am.
Polymorphism.
No. Abstraction just abstract data types means the concept which ma'am has already told. Something which implements those concepts are called abstract data types, and that means if we want to implement abstraction, encapsulation, or data hiding, so we'll call those things as abstract data types.
Interface.
Uh, Interface, yes. I mean, the set of methods are actually called the interface. You can say that, but abstract data types means you want something from reality and you want to convert in code.
Like
So,
inheritance, are you talking about?
no, ma'am. I'm talking about abstract data type. What I'm trying to say is, ma'am, in reality, if there is an employee and I want to create its representation in computational world, so what I'll do is I'll create a class. I'll provide an ID to, let's say, in the class employee, and I provide an ID to it, and I'll provide a bunch of methods like add salary or add family members, such methods. So this entire thing becomes the process of abstraction, and the resultant, that is the employee class which I got, is called the abstract data type.
Actually, more precisely that, let's say if I have to perform some operation like insertion, deletion, or searching in the same employee one. So these operations can be performed. I can be able to define the operation. Insertion means I have to do the like I have to, it has to be added into the elements like that. But we don't know how these operations are implemented. We know insert means it will just do the addition, like adding the values to it, but we doesn't know how we to add it. That is what is the abstract data type.
Yeah, ma'am.
So that is what happens in class. Like class, and we create objects and
Yes,
methods.
yes, yes. That is what ma'am told.
I hope now everything is clear, right?
And what
Hello,
is the
madam.
difference between control abstraction and data abstraction?
Repeat.
No, what is the difference between control abstraction and data abstraction?
So control abstraction in the sense of hiding the details of that, like whatever the flow happens in that, we'll just hide it. So data abstraction in the sense of, let's say the, like where it is stored, and I mean like the storage, and then the data representations, that where let's say it focus on like the data, like what data is stored, and it just mention how the, like what are the operations can be performed on that. That is what is the data abstraction. Okay. uh, because it is just saying where it is stored and what are the operations can be done in that. That is what is data abstraction. And if you take the control abstraction, it hides the flow of control of the program. Let's say how the program has to work, the sequence, like whether the logical I mean like loops are there, conditional statements are there, like those things,
Ma'am,
logic
actually,
flow will be.
ma'am, I think what the slide is saying is the control abstraction means how to access the data. I mean, it is giving the functionality to access the data, and how it is doing it is not our concern. From the outsiders' concern, it is totally a black box for outsiders. And the data abstraction means how the data is internally stored, but it is
Huh.
similarly it is not being shown to outsiders.
Yes. So similar, let's say if I have them, if I have some logical flow in that, it just hides how the logical flow is. It will just focus on what it is doing, and if you know that, that's a control abstraction.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Like we don't know the control flow of it, like the logical flow of it.
Yes, ma'am.
But if it is of data one, it will just mention what data is stored and what are the operations. Let's say if it is of a list, I can do add, remove. If it is of stack, push and pop can be done. Like that, what data and what are the operations can be done. That is what is the data abstraction. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
control abstraction is like function. Data abstraction is along with the function, it also stores the data like class.
Like, yeah, what is the data? What data has been stored and what are the operations can be done? Yes.
And control means it will only store the function, not any data. Like it will take some parameter, then return.
Yeah, we don't know what is happening inside, whether the condition check is working or whether the loop is working. We don't know that.
Yes.
Is that clear? Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, suppose we have two interface classes and we have implement both classes. So if we don't want to implement all the method of implement classes, we can use abstract class implement both class, or like simple class is also workable here. So a abstract class may not implement all the methods of its reference class, or
Because in abstract class we can have the concrete method as well as the abstract methods, right? Abstract method in the sense of it does not have a body. Concrete method in the
okay,
sense of it has the body also. So that's why we want
okay,
to implement everything in that.
okay,
Is
ma'am.
that clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any other doubt, people?
Ma'am, for abstraction, I'm referring to my earlier notes. It's saying, so it's a different view is given to different viewers. For example, a person can be a father, he can be an employee,
That is
and
polymorphism.
okay,
Polymorphism is like based on the, like, let's say the same as you mentioned, like many forms. A person can act as a father at the home and the same person is an employee at his office. If he goes to any supermarket or any other shops, he'll be considered as a customer. So the same person taking many forms, that is polymorphism.
okay. Is it same like different views to different viewers? Actually,
It is also one of the part of the oops concept.
okay, okay.
Okay, so generally the oops is of four things, right? One is of abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism.
Okay.
Okay, any other doubts so far, people?
Mom, we are done with today agenda.
No? No.
Okay.
As of now, I've just completed only week one, and also still I have some topics in week one. Then I'll be covering week two summary also.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, we are doing questions also related to week 1 and 2.
So actually, it's quiz one, right? So quiz one, you mostly will have like a MCQ type, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll be just giving you the overview. In the upcoming session, we can just check it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, people. So proceeding further. So next is the. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we'll be discussing about the abstraction as I already mentioned, and next is subtyping and dynamic lookup and inheritance. So what is subtyping, people?
Employee and manager. So manager is a subtype of employee.
Like subtype will have same or more functionality of than the parent.
Yes. Okay. Then okay. So subtyping is nothing but it's a subclass. It's a let's say we have a superclass, and from the superclass, this subclass will be the specialized version, which means nothing but specialized version of the parent class or the superclass. That is what is the subtyping. Okay. So subclass in the sense of it can inherit the parent one, right? So it can inherit the properties and behaviors from its superclass. Is this thing clear? And subtyping in the sense of it can like the subclass can be able to interchange the if anything is required, it can be able to interchange with its superclass. Okay, so which means it involves the inheritance. Okay, so how to inherit a class?
Extends.
Yes, we'll use the extends keyword and we'll create a subclass, that is the child class from the parent class, and then we'll be just giving like what are the properties of a parent class can be accessible in the child class. Okay, and similarly we can use the interface also. Interface, using interface, we can be able to implement the, let's say we are giving some methods. We can be able to give the values of it here. Okay. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And one of the advantage of using the subtyping is like we can able to like use the polymorphism, because there we have to treat the objects of the different classes, I mean different subclasses in the same way, right? So in those cases you can, I mean there it shares the same superclass, so there you can use the subtyping. Is that clear?
Its supertype can reference to
And
subtype.
repeat.
No, we have supertype reference can point to subtype object.
Yes, so that's why we can be able to reuse the same code, right? Because I'm just using the same code, and in the same way if I have to use in the sense of I can just inherit that parent class, and you can and I can make use of it. Okay, so the subclass will inherit the same behavior, all the subclasses will inherit the same behavior from the superclass. Okay, so either I have to implement it or we can be able to override that method. I mean, that particular method has to be changed. And next is polymorphism. As I mentioned earlier, we can be, let's say the same person has to behave in a different way. So we can just make use of the superclass, and we can just change the variations in it. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so next is of the dynamic lookup.
So inheritance helps in subtyping, right? Because it has same functionality because of inheritance and more.
So by that way, we can use the subtyping, which means using subtyping, I can be able to access from the same class, same superclass, and I can be able to use it for the other subclasses.
Yes, ma'am. So this is because of inheritance only. Yeah, can do that.
Yeah. Using inheritance, we can do, which includes the polymorphism also. And next is what is dynamic lookup?
Basically, at runtime, it is decided which method to call, whether to call the parent method or to call the child method.
Yes, instead of compile time, it will just check at the runtime, which is nothing but the late binding. We'll say this as a late binding. So in case of polymorphism and inheritance, we can use this. Okay.
So dynamic lookup is same as dynamic dispatch.
That is what is dynamic method dispatch or late binding. That is the dynamic lookup.
So lookup and dispatch are same.
Yeah. Nothing but method overriding. What is method overriding? Yes, it's just another name. Yeah.
Method overriding means whether an object is playing the role of parent or child, the method will be called of the child class only. I mean, it will hide the parent class implementation always.
Yes, let's say we have a different implementation. One implementation in the parent class and the other in the other in the child class. So now, based on the call, it has to check with either the parent class or the child class. So if I call the child class, the parent class will be overwritten, which means I'm just overwriting it. Okay, so previously some other implementation was there. Now I'm overwriting and I'm giving the another implementation to it. Is that clear, people? It's based on which subclass you're calling. Based on that also it will be overwritten. Got it?
The function signature should be same.
The name of the method has to be the same. Yes. Then only we can be able to do the method overwriting. Is these things clear, people? Okay.
Yes.
So next is inheritance. So what is inheritance?
Is the subtype gets the code, the implementation of method or the data instance variable.
The
Yes. So
child need not re do the code as of the parent.
yeah, actually, there will be a parent one. From there, I'm just inheriting the child class. And let's say what are the methods or whatever the behavior in the parent class can be taken in the child class. And if I wanted, I can just add some additional to it that comes under the method overriding. And if I just use that method and properties in the sense of, then it is considered as the method, like inheritance. Okay. So, what are the types of inheritance are there in Java which supports Java?
Single level inheritance. This is what you're asking now.
Tree like inheritance.
Okay, what are the inheritance are there?
Multiple inheritance.
Multiple and multi-level.
Okay,
Multi.
But in Java, multiple is not allowed. Only multi-level is allowed.
okay, correct. Then single inheritance is there, right?
Yes, single inheritance.
Yes, ma'am.
Single inheritance is there, multi-level is there, and hierarchical is there. Hybrid and multiple inheritance are not supported in Java directly. We can use interfaces and we can be able to implement it
Yes, ma'am.
for multiple inheritance. Okay, which
And
means multiple in the sense of I need to have more than one class, right? So we can use the interface to implement it. Is that clear?
and if there is two subtypes for the same parent, then what is
Hmm.
that called?
It's a
That
hierarchy,
is
right?
yes, ma'am.
Single superclass which have the a parent can have two children or three children. That is hierarchical. And multi-level in the sense of father to like grandfather, father and child. And single inheritance is father to child like that. And hybrid inheritance is um, let's say it's a combination of more than one inheritance. And multiple inheritance in the sense of let's say two classes or super class for the single class.
More than one parent.
A child is having the character of father and mother both. That is what is the multiple inheritance. Java does not support the multiple and hybrid inheritance directly. Is that clear?
So only multiple is not supported.
Yes. You can use the interface and you can implement it. Hybrid is also not supported in Java, right?
What is hybrid?
Because hybrid is a combination of more than one inheritance.
Means
Which means, let's say I can use the multi-level and then hierarchical, both in the same, for example.
So this single inheritance is a tree-like inheritance.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other doubts, people? Okay, any other doubt? Okay. So generally, the program in the Java starts with the class. Okay, so class, what is a class in Java?
It's a definition provided so that whenever an object is created, it will abide the rule of the class.
Yes. So if I have to like it can be said as a template also, like what has to be done and how it has to be done, like that. Or you can say it's as a blueprint. Okay. So I can be able to create an object for it, and then I can be able to access its behavior. That is the methods and the function. I mean, like methods and the variables of it. Okay. So here we have the visibility of the class. Nothing but the access modifiers, right? What are the access modifiers are there?
Private, public, protected.
And
Default.
in Java. Yes. So what is public?
Any
be
file can be
accessible.
viewed.
Yes, it can be
Different
accessible
folder.
from the all the other classes also. It's like a public telephone booth. Public or telephone booth can be accessed by everyone, right? Or let's say you can take a museum. So anybody can access the museum and other shops, right? That is what is the public property. And private?
Phone in my house.
Yes, it's accessible only to you, like that. Let's say you have a personal room, right? So that room is accessible only to you. You know where you have kept the things and all. Okay, it's only accessible by the particular class. And how about protected?
Only the subtype can act.
Yes, protected in the sense of it's similar to public, but its inherited class can also access. It's nothing but, let's say, private in the sense of only I can access, I'm not giving to anyone else. Protected in the sense of I can use and I'm saying only this people can use. Like that, I'm giving access. That is what is the protected. Let's say only my mom and I can use this. Let's say you can take a home. Home is accessible only to you and your family, right? So it's like only particular people. So access given people can use it. That is what is the protected. Is that clear?
So in a house, the room is private, then house is protected.
Yes. And similarly, default in the sense of the whole package can be able to, within that whole package, you can be able to access that. So for default, we won't give it specifically, but for public and private, we'll just give it as public, private like that. Okay, for default, we'll not give anything. That is what is said to be the default access modifier. Okay.
Who can view default access?
Yes. Let's say I'm just giving us int number instead of giving public int. Public in the sense of anybody can access. Private int in the sense of only the class can access. If I didn't give anything, then it is said to be the default.
No, then who can access that if it is
Within
default?
the same package can access.
Okay.
Let's say I'm giving you'll use. Do you all know to use the package?
Yes.
First statement in the class.
Yes. Other than that.
Package followed by package name followed by semicolon is the syntax.
Yes. 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 So that is what is the like default access modifier can be used. Is that clear, people? Like let's say if I have to use the library, so I can just give it as com.library, which is a like there it can have the book and library and who are all borrowed the books. All the details will be there, right? So these members are all of the same package one.
Like we inherit java.util.star.
Yes.
Ma'am, default, can you explain once again? Ma'am? Default, what is default?
Okay. So let's say package in the sense of related classes and interfaces only can like they together can able to access it. Okay. Let's take example is organization. So let's say if I'm giving some folder to them, so only it is accessible to that people who are all there, right? The college people can access that folder, other people cannot be able to access it. That is what we'll say it as a package.
Yes.
So package is the directory, or folder of
Yes,
files.
it is similar to the directory structure only.
So the files inside that particular folder or directory can access those,
Yes,
not outside another
outside,
directory.
yes. Let's say built-in packages or like as he mentioned like java.util, java.io, these are the standard library packages. So within that we can be able to do like input output and what are the details are there. User defined, or like we are giving no like package space name and all, which means its own classes can able to access it.
No, what is it? Util, no? Like the library, or what did you say?
It's the
Library
name
is no
of package.
example which a user yes.
Ma'am, he was asking java.util. I said that it's name of the package, like ma'am explained. There are package, and from within the package, if you give a default, I mean you don't give a access specifiers. That means it is something is default. So from within the package, you can access that. So whatever class has been defined within the package, they can access that default whatever the default is. So whether it's a default method or default member.
Yes,
So if
so
you import
let's
a package and inside that package something is default, like class, then we cannot access that, right? Because the program is outside that package. We are only importing.
if we import it, we can be able to use it. Without importing, we cannot use it because it's somewhere else. I'm just trying to access that package and I'm trying to use some methods for it.
Okay, so if we import, we can access default.
Yes.
Ma'am, I don't think default is accessible using import also. The thing is, I think uh, only the public will be accessible outside the package. The default will be accessed from within the package only. So let's say if there is something defined as default within IO, java.io or java.io let's say any class C1, there is a default member. So I don't think I'll, even after importing, I'll be able to access it because the specifier provided there is a default one. Basically,
No,
all
we
pack.
can be able to import that. Let's say if I'm creating a class in a different file, I can be able to give it as import that class. So by that way, I can be able to import it, right?
Ma'am, I think if you have written the specifier as default or when you have not provided any specifier, so
Then we
even
can use it.
I
Because
don't
if we haven't mentioned anything, it is considered as a default one.
correct, ma'am. So if let's say P1 is the package having class C1 and the C1 by default I have not given any specifier, so I don't think we'll be able to access it outside the package. Not sure, ma'am. Maybe you are right. I'll check it, ma'am. I'll execute it
I
once and check
will
it.
check.
And if in a package, if we are importing and something is protected, then that also we can access.
Protected works in case of inheritance, so you do not have to worry about that.
Okay, so when we import a package, then protected we can't see. Protected private.
That's what I said. Now, protected when you should be worried
I'll
about the.
also parallelly check that people so that it will be helpful, right?
Yeah, there is some confusion only in the default.
Hmm. I'll check this people and then I'll discuss in the next session because now there is no time. I'll just check with this default one and then I'll mention it. Okay.
Okay, and also protected.
Yeah.
No, in the package, if we import and something is protected, then can we access or like subtypes can access?
Yeah, subtype outside the package can access it, but without subtyping, it won't be possible.
Okay, like if you are inheriting from a class like package, and then
Yeah, from outside a package, it is possible, but it has to be a subtyping relation only.
Yeah. Okay. So so now moving to the next thing, people. So generally it starts from the class, and here we are just giving us public static void main, because main is the starting of it, and wherever the main method is given, that is considered as the starting of the class. Okay. So that you all know, right, how to compile the Java code.
Using
yes,
Java C command.
Yes. So for that, what is the name? So here, hello world should be the name here. Okay, because inside which only main method is there. Okay, so whatever is the main method is there, that is considered this class where the program starts. Okay, and here hello world has to be the name, and you have to compile it like Java C space and hello world dot Java, and then you can just execute it. Okay, so here the program starts, and if I have to print, this is the basic program structure. So first has to be the class, next has to be the method, then the program starts. In other programming language also, the program generally starts with the main. Here also, wherever the main is there, from that class it starts. Okay, is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
See, you can see here Java C space hello world dot Java, because hello world is the main class considered. And at last you can give Java space hello world, and it will create a dot class function. I mean dot class as a separate file, and then it will uh, execute and it will give you it. Okay, and next thing is the data types. So here, let's say integer, long, short, byte, float, double, character, and boolean are the data types. Okay, so each has a different size. So integer in the sense of size 4, and long is of size 8, and short is of size 2, byte is of 1, and boolean is also 1, character is of 2, and float is of 4, and double is of 8. Okay, so these are the let's see if I have to declare any variables. How to use a variable? Is there any rules to write a variable in Java?
The variable declared inside the method need to be initialized before using.
Okay. So generally we have to give the declaration also, and then based on the actually what are the types of variable are there?
Instance variable, static
Yes.
variable.
Yes. Local variable and the parameters. What is instance variable?
That belong to the object.
Let's say instant variable in the sense of which is inside the class.
Yes, it is
Uh,
defined inside the class.
Yes, but it's not inside any method. It's just created like a instance one. Like within the class it will be, but it's not specific to any method. So any method can be able to access that. That is what is the instance variable. And what is class or static variable?
The variable in front of which we write static and it belongs to class. We can access it using the class name itself. We don't need to create an object to access that.
Yeah, and also if I'm giving us a static, it will not reinitialize again and again. We can reassign it, but we'll no need to reinitialize it again and again. Whenever the class is called, it will take the updated value. And how about the local variable?
They need to be initialized before they are used.
No, which is initialized or declared only within the method or the block. Within
Yes,
that particular block, I can be able to access it. And
yes.
next is the parameters. Generally, whenever you are giving the method call or method definition, we'll use this parameter. Okay, when the method like parameter in the sense of it's a variable which is given to the method call during the method call. Okay, it will exist only during the method call. Other than that, it is not accessible. Okay, and variable data types are primitive and then the reference data type. Primitive data types which we have discussed, no, here it is there, like in float, long, and all these things. Okay, reference in the sense of like class, arrays, interfaces, these are the reference data types. Nothing but these stores the memory address of the object. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we can just directly declare and then we can initialize, or we can directly initialize as well, like this. Um, yeah, we can just give char c is equal to x. I can give directly like that, or I can give int x and x is equal to 5. Both the ways are correct only.
Ma'am,
Yes.
until an object is present, its instance variables are like stored in where, like in stack or heap, or this is different.
Can you please repeat your question?
No, the objects will have instance variables. So until the lifetime of the objects, that in those will be stored where, in the stack or heap.
Depends on everything. Object is stored on heap only. Whatever is part of
Actually,
object.
instance variables are stored in the heap memory only. Like when the object is created, it will be stored in the heap memory. You can use this like heap memory is nothing but it is to store the objects. That is, whenever there is an instance of a class is created, that is stored in the heap memory. Stack memory is for local variables or inside the methods. If I give anything, for that we can use the stack memory.
Okay, ma'am.
Stack will not store the instance variables.
Suppose in the code we create a new object, then the object is created in the heap, ma'am, and the reference is in the stack. Or, like we create new object obj equal to new something.
Let's say in main method you have created an object of class C by writing C equal to new C, that is the name of the constructor. So what the reference name is C over here. So this reference is created on the stack frame, but the object to which it is pointing will be created on heap. This is the difference. I hope
Yeah,
you
so
understood.
okay, the reference will be in the stack.
Yes, it is part of stack.
And in which activation record? For
The mains activation record, no? Because you have created it in main method, no?
yeah, okay, I am understood. Yeah, main is also a function.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, people. Okay. So, do you have any doubts so far, people? Can I proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next is the operator. So what are the operators are there in Java? Arithmetic operator, then
Float, double.
Boolean.
okay. Okay. So what are the arithmetic operators are there? That is plus, minus, multiplication, division, and modulo. What is the difference between division and modulo?
For
Division
division, we
gives the
can take
quotient
the
and
question, and for the modulus, remainder.
Gives the remainder. Yes. And next is of the relational or comparational operator. So what is relational comparational operator? What are they?
uh, comparison means less than, greater than, equal to.
Yeah. Sorry, it is to compare two values like double equal, not equal, greater than or equal, greater than, less than or equal. These are the relational or comparational operators. And logical operators are
Boolean or and or.
no, double ampersand logical and like a single slash will be of logical or and exclamatory is for logical not, which is mainly used in the condition check. If I have to check two conditions, I can use this logical operators. Okay. And bitwise operator includes the single ampersand, exclamatory, like that cap symbol, and that tilted one, like complementary, and that is bitwise not. and then left shift, right shift, all these things are there. These are the bitwise operators. And then the assignment operator. What is the difference between single equal and double equal?
Double is for comparison, single is for assignment.
Yes. So left is assigned to right or right is assigned to left?
Right is assigned to left.
Yes, exactly. So whatever is the value in the left will be assigned to the, sorry, whatever the value in the right will be assigned to the left value. Let's say I have to give us A equal to B, or let's say A equal to 10. I can make use of this. Is that clear? Like whatever is the value in the uh, right will be assigned to the left side. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we have plus equal, minus equal, and what are the arithmetic operators you're using? If you add equal to it, then it is the assignment operator. Okay. Next is the unary operator, that is plus plus and minus minus.
Ma'am, negation can be considered as unary?
That
Not
is the
operator.
minus, right? Just the
Minus
minus
also,
is also
and also the not operator.
no.
No, ma'am,
Yeah,
no,
that is also,
not this, ma'am. The exclamation mark.
that is logical not, right? Which means
Uh,
when the condition in front of condition we'll use this.
so will it be
It will
considered
be
as
operating
unary?
only on one only.
So will it be considered unary?
Unary, yes.
Okay.
So binary operators are nothing but we need two operands. So here for these things we need only one operand, right? So you can say it as a unary operator.
Ma'am, but in special cases, it can also be used in binary, na? Not equal to.
No, not equal to will be used, but not is used only for this, right?
Yes,
Not
yes, ma'am.
equal to is to check both, but not is used for only one. True
Yes,
means false, false means true. It's negation one.
ma'am. Okay.
Okay. And plus minus is also used, and plus plus minus minus is also used. What is the difference between A plus plus and plus plus A?
Uh, Pre-operation and post-operation. Pre-increment, post-increment. Sorry.
Yes, what is pre-increment and what is post-increment?
Before using the value of a, it will be incremented or decremented if it is used on the left hand side, and the original value of a will be used in an expression if the value if the operation is done after that uh, I mean the right on the right hand side of that value.
Now, could you show example?
Yeah, sure. So let's say, I hope my writings are visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is my writings are visible, people?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just share my code one so that will be helpful. So, I have shared my other screen, that is Visual Studio. Could you please check if my screen is visible?
No, ma'am, not yet.
No. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now
ma'am,
it's
please.
visible.
Now it's visible, right? Okay. Let's say here, okay, let me just create a new file here. Okay. So let's say first I'm giving us public class, and let's give its name as session, and I'm giving as public static void main string x. Okay. So now I'm giving us int a equal to 10, and I'm giving us uh, int b is equal to plus a, int c is equal to let me just reinitialize the a value again to 10, and I'm giving us a plus plus, and then I'm trying to print the value. So system dot out dot print of plus some space plus c. Okay, similarly, I have to print the a and b values here. Yeah, so it has to be stored as sys only. So sys.java.
I'm in line 8, you're assigning A again.
Yeah, I'm assigning the a again.
No, if you comment that,
No, I'm assigning it again. So that see here plus plus a, here a plus plus. Just for that, I'm reassigning the a value to be 10 again.
Ma'am, the value would be 10 and yeah.
So here plus a. So value will be incremented, then it is stored in the b. But in this case, c value is stored as a, then it gets incremented. That's why after that a value is changed, but c is assigned with 10. So it just assigns, then it increments. Here it increments and then it assigns. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, similarly, if I just give it as a plus plus also, first it will increment the a if, at that instance itself. But here it will just do the process and then it will increment. That is the difference between the pre and post increment. Is
yes,
that
no, now
clear?
yes.
Ma'am, in second one, then A value will be the same.
That's why I have just reinitialized the a to be 10. So this is a separate one and this is a separate one. So this one shows that A is 10 and A is also 11, B is also 11, because A is incremented here automatically. In this case, A is incremented because after that anyway A has to be incremented. But at that moment A value is 10. That is what is assigned to C. And that's why here it printed as 10 for C value. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other doubt, people, so far? Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No doubt, ma'am.
Yeah, please say.
No doubt, ma'am.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so the next topic will be the strings, people. So what do you know about string?
Which contain
Immutable
character.
class.
Okay, so here in Java, string is considered as a built-in class. Okay, it's not a data type. Here it is considered as a built-in class. Okay, so that's why when you're finding the length of, you can see we'll use it as a dot length of method, not as a dot length. Okay, so here we'll just give the string in the double quotes.
Ma'am, can you
If
repeat
it is
that
a
length?
character, yeah.
No, that what did you say about length?
So how will you find the length of the string in Java?
Yeah, I forgot whether it method or instance. I think it is a method for string.
Yeah, because it is a class. Okay,
Okay.
that's why we are giving as string dot length of or a dot length of. We'll give it as a method, not as a instance. Okay.
But for array, it is instance.
Yes.
So that means array is not a class.
Array is not a class. It's a data type.
Okay, so
That
that
is
is
the
why.
object, right? We have just discussed. No, it comes under the reference data type. So here length is considered as a property. But in case of a string, string is a built-in class. That's why there we are using it like a method to take the length. Is that clear?
And each string which we assign, so that is like an object of class string, or
I didn't understand your question.
suppose we write string s equal to hello, so that s is like a object of class string.
We are creating an instance and then we are assigning it with the characters.
So s is an object of class, that
Yes.
class string.
Yeah.
And when we call s dot length, it is like calling the method of object s.
Yes, we are just using the method and we are just finding the length of it. Okay. So here S is considered as the object, I mean the reference point for that string. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, actually in case of operators, I missed these things also. So instance of is also one of the operator. So you can check whether it's an instance or not using that.
Logical operator, like
Okay.
reference operator.
And yeah. And then you ternary operator, you all know, right? Question mark and with the semicolon. That is also one of the operators. I missed that. Okay, so here you can check whether it's the same instance or not. You can use it as dot instance of, I mean like S instance of string. If you click that, it will say, yeah, it's an instance. Okay, because S is the object or the instance of that string class, and then I'm assigning it with some value. Is that clear?
And for string, we don't have to write new string, right? Like that syntax.
That comes under the string pool, right?
No, for like string is a class, and while creating object, we can directly write like primitive data type, not like class. Like we don't have to write string s equal to new string allows.
Are you talking about that string pool and string literals one? String literal,
No,
string literal in the sense of I'm just assigning with string s is equal to the hello world, something of that sort. If I give it as string s is equal to new string of hello, which means it's considered as a string pool. Is that what you're talking about?
yes. Yeah, if it is possible, could explain that also.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's say if I'm just giving as string, yes, 1 minute, people. I'll just. Is my screen is visible, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
No, not VS Code.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's say I'm giving as string s is equal to new string of hello. You can use it like this, or else you can just give it as string s is equal to hello. Both are different actually. Okay. So this is considered as it is stored in the heap memory, and this is stored in the string pool memory location. Okay. So it reuses the string object. This one, if I just object reuse can be done, but here though every time it will create a new object because we are creating it using the dynamically using the new. Okay. And here, as it is reusing and all, it is memory efficiency is high, and here the memory efficiency is less.
Which is less.
Is that clear? Every time it will create an instance of a heap, but it is not like that. It will just reuse it whenever it is required. So you can see the
Can you
difference when you are giving the double equal and dot equals of. Then you will understand the difference between both. If you give dot equals of, okay, let me just execute that code here. Let's say I'm giving us a string s1 is equal to new string of hello. Okay, I'm copying the same and I'm giving the name as s2. Then system dot out of println s1 equal to s2. Similarly, system dot out dot println s1 dot equals of s2. Let me just compile it first. Then we execute it. Can you see? Here it gives me false because here it checks with the memory and here it checks with the what is the value in that memory. Similarly, let's say I'm giving a string x1 is equal to hello, and similarly string x2 is also equal to hello. Instead of s1 I have to give it as x1 x2. Okay, let me just recompile it again. Can you see here? Here it reuses the same memory. So memory is also true. The word is also true. But here the memory, I said no, every time it will create an instance in the memory. So that is why here it gives the false. But when we are checking the literals, it is correct. That is why here it false and here it is true. Is that clear to you all?
Yes, and in the first one, if you write
Yes, ma'am.
new string, then that is stored in the heap with the reference in
Here
the.
this is stored in the by creating a different instance in a heap. Here though it uses the same memory. That is why on checking the memory also it is giving true. Checking the literal also it is giving me true.
Okay, but both are stored in heap. Like string pool is also in the heap.
No. Memory itself is the string pool.
Yes, ma'am, which is in the heap.
Yes, string pool is part of heap, but it is separated from the object. That new string object hello is separate, and the string pool is created separately. So the
String pool is nothing but we are sharing the same thing. Like same pool is shared. So that's why it is memory location, everything is of same.
ma'am, his question is where the string pool is created. So basically, it's created on heap itself, but it is separated from the normal new where the objects with new keywords are created.
Okay, ma'am.
I think his question is also related to this 20, line 20 and 21, where those memory are getting allocated, whether they are in heap.
String pool is part of heap na. String
Yeah.
basically those two hello are in string pool, which is within the heap
Mm.
itself, heap
Mm.
area itself.
My understanding is 15, line 15 and 16 are part of string pool, correct?
Uh,
No. This is not the string pool. This is stored in the every time it stores in the instance of the string heap. Here it stores in the string pool, not in the heap. Like in heap, it's a specialized or a different way where there is a pool where it is shared by all similar types. Here, every time it will create a new memory location for S1 and S2. Here it is checking X1 hello. Okay, X2 is also the same word. Let me store in the same location, memory location. It is stored in the same memory location. Here it is stored in the different memory location. Is that is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still confused, like which one goes to string pool and which one goes to heap memory.
Okay. So I hope let me. Okay.
I
So
think
this
string
is
pool is
stored in
also
the
in the
string pool.
heap.
Yes, it is inside the heap, but it is stored and it is compared in in a different way. That is the difference. Here, every time it will create a different memory location.
So that will be present within the heap and
Heap
with.
within the heap, generalized heap. Here, this is the string pool, which means same memory location is stat.
Okay.
Same memory location is stat.
Yes, ma'am. I think if we visualize in the Python tutor or something, we can, then it will be clear.
Okay, but okay, maybe next session I'll just help you in that, people.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, because the time is very less. So I'll just give you an overview of the arrays also, people. So as I mentioned earlier, array is like a data type. So it is like you can say that here we are using the property of it. So that's why here you can use a dot length, not as length of. Okay, and generally you can create array like this, either int a and a equal to new int of. You have to give the size of it, which means it can hold the 100 elements inside this. Okay, so yeah, with this, I'm winding up this session, people. So we'll be discussing the other things in the next session. Okay,
ma'am, one doubt
like
is this
deeply
array is
before
also,
somebody will be. Yes,
this array is also like class object, no? Like just like
it's a
string.
data type. It's a data type. It's a data type.
Okay, it is not. Okay, it is not the
It's not a
class
class.
array. Okay.
Okay, any other doubt, people?
So today we covered week 1, 2, right?
Okay, if you have no doubts, you can leave the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.